to use someone else's problem.
Okay. All right, we live.
Yeah, definitely.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this live stream on farming. Today is Saturday, Saturday, June 26, 2021. And today I'm here with Levi. I'm going to discuss a lot of things throughout this live stream. We're going to talk about language in general and English in particular. I'm going to share with you a couple of strategies on how you can become fluent in English or in any other language because the strategy that we're going to share can be applied to English, Chinese, French, and we're going to do our best to speak in English and in French because I know that most of you following us right now may not be able to understand English fluently or perfectly. So we will do the first part in what language?
English,
English first
yeah, English first,
and
and then
French
we
later.
will switch between.
Ok, donc on va partager un certain nombre de stratégies avec vous ce soir et c'est ma question de comment est-ce que vous pouvez arriver, parvenir à vous exprimer couramment en anglais précisément ou en toute autre langue. Donc je suis accompagné d'un très bon ami. Le gars, c'est un expert en anglais américain. Ok, you have the floor. Can you introduce yourself? Let these guys know you.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I would like to, acknowledge first of all the fact that I don't really feel comfortable all the time when it comes to introduce myself. Because, that sounds a little bit selfish, right?
Yeah,
Probably because,
life is selfish, you know.
exactly, exactly. So when you start actually saying I've achieved this, I did this, some folks go like, man, did this guy think this? So
Yeah.
but so far I've been able to accomplish a lot of things, and I can't really uh, behave like a god already where I'm actually growing to, right? I still have a long way to go, but I've been able to accomplish a lot of things, all right? Like I've been able to, create the center, and now I'm working with some folks, and we're having a beautiful center going on
Yeah.
with a lot of folks actually really committed. Some of them actually, let's make this clear, right? It's not everybody who's actually really committed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the opportunity back then to work at the Ministry of External Relations
Yeah.
as an intern, and I also teach in both primary and secondary school. So that's a little bit it. If I got to stop from here, because I still have a
Now,
long way
you
to
talked
go.
about the center. I want you to say one or two things about the center.
Exactly.
What do you teach in the center?
Oh yeah, we're working on English generally.
Yeah,
And,
it's very important to mention that.
yeah,
That's one of the reasons why we're here tonight.
That's the reason I'm wearing American English Club. You can actually see it on the shirt right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
American
on the
English
shirt
Club.
too. So that's the center we're working on, and we actually working in English
Yeah.
now.
So for
So
those of you that want to
um,
speak English like American,
yeah, you got
this is the guy.
you got to pull up definitely.
He got
You got to pull
great
up.
pronunciation, American accent, and he's the right guy to teach you American English.
Thank you for all the great work.
So as for me, for those of you that do not know me or please stay close to my name, basically I'm a researcher. You know.
Okay.
I'm a researcher. It means that I work at the Ministry of Scientific Research, and I work in a couple of projects, especially at the National Institute of Cartography. I'm a physicist by training because I got a couple of documents and diplomas in physics from the University of Yaoundé one.
Okay.
I did my bachelor's, master's, right up to my PhD in physics there. But after I graduated, there's a question that always came to my mind. It's the question to understand the reason why A lot of people want to succeed, but very few people succeed. A lot of people want uh, to become something, but very few people end up becoming what they want to become.
Sure,
So the
sure.
question is, why is there a big gap between what people want to do and what they finally do? Why is there a great difference between what people want to have and what they finally obtain? And because of thinking about this and pondering on these questions, I produce a lot of content on a daily basis, videos, write-ups, articles that are published online. You can find my articles and videos on Facebook, on YouTube, on WhatsApp. And that's what I do. And that led me to also write a book, which is already published.
Another book, right?
Yeah,
We've got it here, folks.
yeah,
I got to mention it. We've got it here.
that's the
The
copy.
excuses that killed my dream. Yeah,
Exactly.
tell us a little bit about it.
Excuses that kill my dream is a book that came about. Let me fix this. So the book came about. I observed around. I discovered that a lot of people have potential, myself included, because I find myself in an environment where I had a lot of ideas that I could not take action. I was always coming up with excuses. I wanted to write a book, but I said I don't have any training. I can't write 200 pages. I'm not a writer, professional writer. I don't know how to start. I don't know what to do, and I kept on coming with these kind of excuses, and I finally didn't do it. I had a lot of projects like creating my own center, helping people to speak fluently other languages. I had a couple of projects like that, but I never ever took any action. Why? Because I was always coming up with excuses. And I discovered that those excuses stopped me from discovering the person I am or I was and from accomplishing a lot of things. So I decided to take action. And that's what I'm writing in this book. In this book, I share my own story. Some of the things that I wanted to do, which I never did because of excuses. What I had planned to do, I never did because of excuses. And if you read this book, it's made of 18 chapters. In each chapter, I share a strategy. Because I tell you, this is what I did, and I failed. This is what you can do. So I think this is a compendium for those of you that like reading and those that do not like reading. This is a good book for you.
Exactly.
So we'll come back to this. Let's get back to the topic. We here today to talk to you about learning English, in particular, or languages in general. First of all, you've been able to learn English and speak English. It means you're French speaking from background.
Yes, exactly.
Now, I want to ask you the first question. Now, I want to understand how or why. Talk about why. Why did you decide to learn?
Well, first of all, it's just like a passion, man, and that's one of the things that I'm always saying to people.
Yeah,
You got to, first of all, identify the why. And
yeah,
when the why is there, then you have a lot of courage to go through it and to market as hard as possible to make it happen, right?
yeah,
So, and I felt it back then. I loved American culture.
yeah,
Yeah, and I watched a lot of movies, from from American people, and I was just like all the time, like, man, is it really possible to be able to speak English like a native speaker
mm,
without actually, being living in America? And
sure.
that was a question that I was just like all the time asking to myself.
And that's the big challenge.
Exactly. And, you know, I was just like trying to imitate all the time, speaking, and I was just like saying crazy stuff, even stuff that I didn't understand back then. I was just like listening to some music and trying to repeat the lyrics without even, being sure that I'm actually
Saying
saying
the right
the
thing.
right things,
Yeah,
And
those crazy things.
yeah, exactly. That's how I started actually, still until it became like a true passion. And the first realization I made was that I met a guy. He's a very good friend of mine now,
Yeah,
and he was the first person that I heard back then being able, I mean, like so far even,
yeah,
speaking American English fluently. And I was like, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, how you doing it?
Yeah,
You get? And
he got you off the seat.
yeah, we were back then at the university, and which was like during a class, we were having a class. We raised our hands up. We wanted to, answer to a question of a lecturer, and he did it. I was just like literally sleeping actually at the back of the class, and I heard the guy speaking, and I just like raised my head and go like, "Who's this man talking? Who? Where is he coming from? You know?" And
So the
right,
first time you're listening to someone speak English in a different way with a
exactly,
beautiful accent.
with a very perfect accent. And right after the conversation, I went up to him and I asked him, "Man, how you doing?" And it was like he was saying that a guy was in America, you know what I mean?
Or
And
maybe he had traveled to
he
America.
traveled to America before, and I actually went up to him and I started actually asking a lot of questions to him, like, how do you do that? How do you work on a daily basis? He tried to share some tips with me, but I was like not really convinced because the guy was just like so perfect. And we started actually working. You know, we were just grinding, staying at school after classes, just trying to make it happen. You know, and we were just like doing it all the time, working like that. And I think that
That was the starting point.
saying that man, that yeah, that was just like, man, come on, that was exactly the bottom line.
So
And I started
your journey to learning English started the day you met the guy, or before you
exactly.
met him, you had already started learning.
I started actually, but I wasn't actually convinced that it works, right?
Okay.
Because I never saw somebody before being able to speak English
Mm.
correctly,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, so that's a little bit. So my journey starts really back in there.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I want to know in the course of learning, did you what are some of the strategies that you applied? Because one of the reasons why we're here today is to share a couple of strategies.
Yeah.
Now, according to you, what is the best mindset or what is the best way to approach English
And first of all, you gotta take it as a joke. Okay,
learning? Okay.
you gotta take it as a pleasure. It's not like something that you gotta play with it. It should be not like a chore, but instead as an
Passion.
entertainment, right? Like
Yeah.
you listen to a lot of music, you practice at home, you don't really care about the vocabulary or the grammar at first, right? Just go with it.
Okay.
That's one of the very roadblock for a lot of folks out there. They just go like, man, I'm not sure that I can speak it correctly. That my grammar is probably not yet
Not the
good.
best.
I can't get into it, right?
Yeah.
So I better stay back and wait till I get good. And that's the very biggest mistakes that
Great
a lot
mistake.
of people
Great
are actually
mistake.
really making. So you got to take it as a joke at first, you know, listening to a lot of music
Mm.
and working every single day. The language is the environment, and if you do not have the possibility to be in a very good environment,
Mm.
you won't be able to make it, right? That's the
Mm.
reason why you should create a virtual environment where you actually listening a lot of stuffs in
Yeah.
English. You can probably start by setting back your phone in English. That's a
Yeah.
very good start, right?
Practical steps.
Practical steps actually. You go like listening to like I mean like a 1 minute video every day. If you're able to do it,
Mm.
then probably if you keep doing it, in the long run, you'll be able to, achieve a lot of great and interesting stuff as far as,
Yeah.
mastering the language is concerned. So
All right.
that's
So
that's a little bit.
the starting point is the environment, and I want to say that that is what I believe to be the most important part.
Oh,
The environment plays 90% of the roles in your learning journey,
exactly.
because whatever we are today, or whatever we can do today, whatever we can say today, whatever we know today is the result of the environment we are into. And learning language is not an exception.
Exactly.
That is why I always say that if you want to learn a new language, it could be English, it could be French, or whatever, the first thing is you must be able to desire the language.
Exactly.
It's not something you can just say, well, I want to learn. You see someone speak like that guy you met at university in those days. He spoke so well, and you just got excited. Just
Exactly.
imagine you got excited and said, okay, now I want to speak like this guy. And you go back home and you sleep.
You sleep. That's how possible. You can.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
So your desire must be great enough. Your desire must actually be bigger than any challenge that can come your way. From that time, you can now move to the next step, environment. If you do not have the chance or the possibility to find yourself in what I call the natural environment,
Exactly. Like
maybe you
bubble.
travel to a country where the language is spoken,
Yeah.
or you're in a region where the language is spoken. If you don't have that opportunity, then create the environment.
Exactly.
Create the environment. How do you do that? It's a virtual environment. Nowadays, it's very easy. You've got internet, you've got a phone, you've got a computer, you've got gadgets, you've got books, you've got people. Create an environment that compels you
Yeah.
to speak the language.
Exactly.
And this is what I did. Let me tell you a little bit about my story.
Yeah. 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 I want to hear you.
When I graduated from high school,
Yeah.
I was just like these normal folks, nothing in English. I was just as dull as any other person in English. So, but I had something in my heart. I wanted to learn how to speak English fluently. And when I got to the university, it was one of my main goals. I
Okay.
said, this year, I'm going to speak English. And there is something that they call the law of nature, because I believe that what you're looking for is looking for you.
Exactly.
Whatever you're looking for is looking for you.
Trust
And
me.
the day I made up my mind, I said, from now on, I'm going to speak English. I'm going to learn English. I'm going to find myself in a place where I can. That day, I had an encounter. First year university. I got to the amphitheater and I met a guy. It was about 2 weeks to the start. After the start, I mean, so we had a physics class.
Yeah.
After the physics class, this guy came to me. This guy is an English speaking, a guy from the northwest region of Cameroon.
Exactly. I know.
Yep. So he came to me and he was asking me a couple of questions. He was speaking in English.
Okay.
I looked at him. I said, "What is this guy talking about?" He needed some help because he came late, he registered late, and he needed some information about registration
How
process
the
and a couple of
process
things.
works. Yeah.
So I wanted to help this guy, but I could not communicate with him. And whenever I think about our first conversation, it always takes me off.
Yeah.
So we sat down and we needed to talk.
Yeah.
The guy does not understand French.
French and you
I do not understand
understand
English, but we have to communicate.
How to make it?
So we were drawing actually. We were drawing, so we had a piece of paper. I remember that day I wanted to tell him something relating to goats. I wanted to describe, I want to talk about a goat,
Yeah.
but I didn't know how to say goat in English. Can you imagine that?
Oh yeah.
So I had to take a piece of paper and draw my goat on the piece of paper and show this guy that this is what
This
I
is
want to
what I'm
talk
talking about.
As soon as I showed him this is what I'm talking about, he's like, oh my God.
How could you not say goat?
I could not say good. I don't know why I could not say good. I just could not say good. And so this conversation went on. We spoke for about an hour,
Yeah.
using gestures, using drawings, papers, and everything we could have to communicate.
Yeah.
That day, I made up my mind. I said, this will never happen again.
Anymore.
It will not
Yeah.
happen anymore. So I decided to start learning English. And we became friends, and that is how I started, communicating with him. I was teaching him a couple of French sentences, words, grammar, and so on. And he was teaching me English. So we were meeting once in a while and having some conversations. That is how my journey
actually
started. Yeah. And fortunately, I had the opportunity to join an association,
Okay.
and it was an English speaking association. And there, people only speak English. So the first day I got there, I saw some of these young students, these students,
Youngsters.
yeah, these young folks just getting to university and trying to everybody's trying to show off.
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
speak good English. I can speak
I
good
remember
English.
that. I remember.
And there is a guy that I will never forget. This guy is a student from, I think, English Modern Letters,
Okay.
master student.
Okay,
You know these
University
guys,
of
master
Yaoundé.
student, University of Yaoundé one,
Yeah.
English modern letters. So whenever this guy is speaking, it's like he got to take your eye off the track.
Oh,
And
man.
the grammar, the vocab is always speaking of.
Actually,
And I was sitting back then in the hall. I was looking at him. This guy is frustrating. He was speaking so well. I said, "Will I ever speak like this guy?
would I be able to do
Will I be
it?
able to
Come
do
on.
that?" But the desire was stronger.
Yeah.
I actually needed to do that. I became very active in the association. I started talking with a lot of people, and that is how I was learning every single day. And 6 months after I made up my mind,
Yeah.
something happened. In the same gathering, in the same association, people started telling me, "Hey, this guy, you just came a couple of months ago. You already speaking English like us. What's happening?" And that's the time I realized this thing works.
It
This
works.
thing works.
Exactly.
And in the 6 month period, I applied a lot of strategies that actually made me to become fluent in English.
Okay. Okay.
Creating that environment, meeting people that speak the language, and I was so hungry for English that everything I meet on the street, on the internet, on the phone, wherever, when I
You was
meet
just
English, I stop.
digging into it and try to.
When I see English somewhere,
You
I
stop
first stop.
there. Yeah. You
If the
try to listen.
signboard in English, I
You
stop.
stop.
I
You
read
try to
it.
translate
Do I understand this? If I do not understand, I pick the words, I go and search
on the
in the
dictionary.
dictionary.
Yeah.
That is how it happens. When I meet a gathering or I go somewhere in a conference, if it's English, I sit there and I listen.
Exactly.
I do not care whether I understand or not.
That's how it
I
works.
sit there, I listen.
Mhm.
And the more you listen, it's like your brain opens. And there is a day you just like, wow, I'm understanding these guys.
Exactly.
And after
Exactly.
that, you begin to speak. You say a word, you say a sentence, and that is how you get comfortable. So, for those of you that want to learn or want to speak English, I want to tell you it's your desire should be stronger. Don't just say, I want to do it, and you fold your arms and you sit down and you do nothing. You've got to take action. And the
Exactly.
simplest action you can take right now, take your phone. Is it set up in English or in French?
You gotta start.
Change the setting, first of
You
all.
gotta start there.
Take your
Yeah.
computer,
Exactly. Do the
change the
same
setting.
thing.
Whenever you go online, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, watching videos,
You
what
gotta do.
language do you watch in?
Yeah.
French
Yeah.
or English?
English.
So those are some of the little things that people actually need to know. Let me get back to you. I've spoken a lot.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
get back to you. So, in the course of speaking English, can you share some of the challenges? Some of
Yeah.
the challenges you actually encountered. Did people mock at you? Did you feel frustrated once in a while? How did you feel?
Exactly. It was like frustrating, man. For everybody trying to get in the field, it's literally the same thing all the
Yeah.
time, right? And when you're at the beginning and you're just like excited to see, put out the words, and
Yeah.
you don't really care if it is grammatically correct or
Mm.
if the vocabulary is correct.
Or the pronunciation is
The
correct.
pronunciation, you don't even
You got to
care,
play with
man.
all of that.
Exactly. And you start actually, especially if you want to, make something different as we're doing with
Mm.
American English, for
Sure.
example. We've got a lot of folks out there who are just like, man, do you really think that living in Cameroon and speaking American English is
It's
that
possible.
worth it? Is that worth it?
Yeah.
That's the question even actually that they ask all the time. And I was like facing it all the time. I remember my first years at the university when I really got in the English field. I was just like trying to master the thing. I was
Yeah.
just like working all the time, trying to figure out how it works. And I remember a day I was in class. I will never forget that day. I was just like, oh man, I was not energized. I was feeling off,
Yeah.
completely, astonished because I got mocked from,
Oh.
yeah, I got mocked from a lot of folks and my students actually, my friends, man. And I was just like, come on. I knew I was actually saying something good,
Okay.
but I wasn't
You
really
were you were not saying
realizing
the
the
right thing.
mistake. Okay, and
Definitely.
they,
And
they, they all fall at the chairs
Like
laughing, and I
this
was
guy
just,
is
and I
speaking.
was like, man, I'm so crazy. Probably, I got humiliated, and I was just like, when I went back that day at home, I was just like, probably I should stop everything that I'm actually doing. It
Mm,
doesn't worth it, right?
this is not my thing.
Yeah, it's probably not my thing. I can't get more like this all the time. But a lot of folks, it wasn't actually the first time, but that time was just like so
Mm,
special. Having
yeah.
a lot of folks actually marking at you
At the same
at the
time,
same time, that got to be really rough,
very uncomfortable.
Exactly. And I was just like, man, I rather master this or
I quit.
I quit.
That's it.
And my passion, as we were saying
Mm,
earlier, was so high that I couldn't really, quit.
no way.
Yeah, no way for me to quit. I was just like, this guy made it. How is it not possible that I can do it
Yeah.
too, right? And I went back to my stuff, started actually working, and I was just like, I'm gonna finish to do it. I will be able to do this
Yep.
one day.
Just give me some time.
And
Let me get
sometimes,
my stuff
yeah,
together.
exactly. So I turned the negative part of getting mocked
Yep.
into a positive thing. So this is how this is what I mean. I mean, like I took it as a motivation,
Yeah.
right, to be able to make it at the end of the day. So that's
I really like that part. And
yeah,
I mentioned something related to that in this book.
in the
I think
book.
that's the 16th chapter,
Okay.
how to transform your failures or your frustrations into your motivation. When something happens to you, rather than saying, okay, that's not my thing, I can't speak good English, you've got to be particular, you've got to be special to speak English that way. Rather than giving up because of that kind of frustration you went
Exactly.
through, you can say, okay, I'm going to prove to them that I can do it. I'm going to prove to the rest of the world that
That I'm
I
able to.
also am able to. If
Exactly.
X did it, Y did it, A did it, B did it,
Then I'm able to do it too.
I'm able to do it so
Yeah.
because they're just human beings like me.
Exactly.
And you use that as a catalyst, I think it's one of the things that people actually need to understand. You don't need to be afraid because the reality is that people will mock at you.
That's it.
You can't escape that reality. If you want to learn a new language, expect that someday someone will laugh at you and say, "What are you talking about? Are you for real that you want to learn English? That's not your thing, man. Forget about
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that.
You better quit. You better leave
You
that.
better forget about that. Go and focus on other thing. Maybe French is your thing,
Yeah,
English is
yeah.
not your thing." But
So,
you've got to be comfortable with that. You've got to get to a place where you actually say, I don't care.
yeah,
I focus on the process, I focus on the
no
result,
matter
and I
what.
move on. I
Yeah,
work hard. When you have that kind of mindset, you actually become unstoppable.
exactly.
And I think
That's
learning English is just
crazy.
like fighting a battle. You're on a battlefield and you've got to develop a strong mindset to
Exactly.
get that. But what we're saying is not to make you think that this thing is so complicated.
It's not even
It's not
complicated,
even
really.
complicated because when
I think like we got into trouble because we didn't really know how it works, man.
sure,
Right? We didn't really have somebody to shape our way, and
definitely,
it was just like we trying to figure it out at the same time how to master the pronunciation.
yeah,
We didn't even know what comes first, right? Like the pronunciation first or the
mm,
grammar. We didn't
yeah,
really know. We
yeah,
were just like trying to get it all at the same time, and that
yeah.
was just like really rough, man. So that's one of the reasons why we got into troubles a lot. So now what we try to do now is just like we share with folks how it works, the process
Yeah,
from day one to the last day.
yeah,
This is what you got to do. First of all, working on your mindset.
definitely.
Yeah, when you got it there, when you get there, you got to start actually working with your mind. That's the first step. And
Mm.
later, you should actually, you may now focus on grammar, vocabulary. And this is what I always say to people. Speaking the language has to do with practicing every
Pre-
single day.
You've got to repeat that, man.
Practicing every single day.
Yeah.
Language is practicing. This is the example I got all the time. I always ask the people,
Mm.
man, how do you think a 5-year-old USA child living in the US, born in the US, living in the US, is
doing to be able to master English
Mm.
at 5 years old correctly? How do you think he's doing it?
Mm.
First of all, he's listening a lot of English, as much as English as possible on
From
his
the people
environment.
around, yeah.
Exactly. On TV, from his parents, I mean, like his siblings.
Yeah.
Okay. He's doing it all the time.
And
He
he's going to
doesn't
school,
even
he's reading documents.
exactly. He doesn't even know what's the past tense, what's the present tense.
No grammar.
Exactly. You gotta practice. That's how it works. He started actually repeating, "Mama,
Mama.
oh yeah, Baba,
Come
in
here.
Chinese, come
Go."
here."
That's how it
Exactly.
starts.
That's how it works actually. But people just try to get like the right process, the formal process to get there. Like, what's the first step? So,
Okay.
okay,
They want
how
to
many
get the
times?
grammar right.
How many times do I really need to be able to? And all the time,
Yep.
I got like, okay, you want to know how much times you want, for you to be able to speak English? I'm gonna ask you some questions to you.
Mm.
How many times are you able to put every day
Yep.
to achieve the goal?
That's a good question.
That's the question I'm asking you back.
Yeah. Because when you answer that question, you now know, because how much time do I need? You can take 5 months,
Yeah,
she can take 6 months, another person can take 1 year, another person 5 years.
exactly.
So the
Depends
time
on
you
the
need
work that
depends
you
on your
put in.
commitment.
Exactly.
Some people always ask me that same question. If I start working with you guys, because we also have a Say It Club.
Yeah,
It's a club that I created to actually share my own experience
exactly.
and to help people achieve fluency
Yeah, yeah,
in English, in French as well,
yeah,
in Chinese, in Italian.
I know, man. You just
I
like
share.
you got into that really. So many languages. I mean, like, do you have the same brain like
No,
us?
the thing is, I have learned a lesson.
Yeah,
When you achieve a goal,
yeah.
you've got enough energy to achieve the next.
Okay.
I usually put it this way: when you beat the beast following you, the first beast following you, when you beat that beast, when you kill that beast,
Okay.
the next beast becomes easier to kill.
Exactly.
And that is what happened to me when I finally conquered English. I was like, hey man, it's like I understand something
I
about
got a
language,
process. I got a process.
I
now.
understand something
I
about
know it
language.
works.
Why not try another
Another
language?
one.
So I tackled Chinese. No, I first of all tackled Italian, and it took me about 3 months to get my head around
Oh
Italian.
man.
I was learning it online. I got online. I got downloaded a couple of stuff, videos. I went to my room, listening, watching, and speaking, and trying to get in touch with some people in Italy to communicate with them.
Oh,
And that is how I was practicing.
practicing.
And after 3 months, I discovered I could already get along in a conversation. I was like, okay, this feels good.
It works.
Success feels good, man.
It works, man.
I decided to tackle Chinese. So that is how it happened. And nowadays, I'm so happy to be able to share that some of my frustration, some of my challenges,
Yeah.
how I did it, so that for those of you that want to become fluent in whatever language, you apply the same strategies and it
Exactly.
works. Because I always say this: if you want to go somewhere, find someone who have been there,
Exactly.
do what he did, and you get there faster.
Period.
If you want to figure out on your own, it's going to take you a longer
A
time.
lot of time.
If you want to speak a language, find someone
Who
with the
guides
same
you.
background who can guide you, who has been there, he can give you the right step. Or else it's going to take you a longer time. And that's what
Sure.
we do at Say Club. We actually focus on speaking. And this is our motto:
Exactly.
where fluency happens. You learn how to speak by
Daily.
speaking.
By speaking. Yeah.
That's the rule.
Period.
No grammar rules, no vocab, all of that.
Sometimes we can come back to it because
Sure.
I get a lot of questions sometimes. Like, you say that you're just like practicing every day.
Hmm.
What about the grammar? Don't you think it's important? And I go like, yeah, man. I can't explain this all the time.
Yeah.
Try to speak first. If you got any problem as far as grammar is concerned, then we will go
Go
back
back.
to that
And
particular
review the grammar.
exactly that how it works. But we can't just like start now doing a lot of exercises. You know how we did in secondary school, man.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
got like you can actually. That's a very perfect example. You can think about it.
Yep.
You start like from one up to
Not from one, class one. What are you
class-
talking about,
yeah,
man?
class one.
Class one.
You start actually learning English there up to what is it? Opposite.
Opposite.
Yeah.
That's
That's
about
14 years.
14 years.
And you're not even able to make
To make a
two
sentence.
sentence correctly in English.
It's unfortunate.
There is a problem with the process that we're
Sure.
probably taking, and that's what we try to come up with.
Mm.
We try to change now the process. We try to make it different by actually coming up with more practice than just like
Just giving the rules,
theory
grammar
and a
rules.
lot of exercises, right? And yeah, and one of the points that I'd like to make clear here, because probably there are a lot of folks watching us, and they'll go like, "Oh man," and I was saying it at the beginning, like
Yeah.
probably these guys are thinking like they were like the gods of it.
No,
I still acknowledge that there are a lot of folks out there who are far more better than me,
of course,
right?
yes.
And that is my challenge every single day. I gotta get like the best in my
Better
domain.
than the previous day.
Exactly. Sorry. And I'm just like working on it every day. All right.
Yeah.
That's a little bit.
I think it's very important to understand the concept of fluency because I always take time to explain that to people. When you say I want to become fluent in English, what does that mean? Because becoming fluent is an abstract statement.
Exactly.
Because what fluency means to me may not be what it means to you.
Sure.
Fluency to me could be I want to speak like Barack Obama.
Exactly.
If I speak like Barack Obama, I'm
Then
fluent.
I got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
Another person is, well, I just want to carry out a conversation. If I can speak English for 30 minutes without scratching my head,
Then I
then I
got it.
got it.
Yeah.
Another person would be, I'm a lecturer. If I'm able to give a lecture, 1 hour lecture in English without, getting
good at it.
stuck, I got it.
Yeah.
You need to define what fluency
What's-
means to you.
Exactly.
And that is what it means setting the goal.
Exactly. And without actually interrupting you,
Mm.
that's what we're trying to do with every student that we received actually at the American English Club.
Yeah.
From day one, we try to set the goals according to you.
Yep.
What would you like to accomplish?
Yep.
At which, I mean, like, at what point would you be able to say, yes,
I got it.
mastered it. I got it.
Man, we've got to speak French now.
No,
It's
exactly.
almost 40 minutes.
Because people are going to go like, man, probably those guys are not even
These
French
guys are
speakers.
crazy.
Don't
Now we need to
you?
speak French because we need to balance this out.
Yeah.
And I've got a challenge. Whenever I speak English, for sometimes it becomes like very
A little
uncomfortable
tough
to
is
go
speaking
back to French.
Yeah.
When we got to do that. Ok, bonsoir encore une fois de plus. Maintenant, on va parler un peu en français parce que voilà, je suppose que la plupart de ceux qui nous regardent actuellement, c'est des personnes qui sont d'expression française. Et pendant les 30 premières minutes, Levi et moi, nous avons partagé avec vous un certain nombre d'expériences. Comment est-ce que nous avons fait et certaines difficultés que nous avons rencontrées pendant notre parcours. Et raison pour laquelle nous allons un peu récapituler ça en français pour que ceux-là qui n'ont pas pu saisir la quintessence du message que nous avons voulu passer puissent le saisir. Donc voilà, on va essayer de
Oui, bien sûr.
ramasser ça rapidement. Et parlant d'abord de ce que tu fais, tu as parlé de American English Club. Est-ce que tu
Bien
peux partager un peu là-dessus?
Voilà, donc American English Club, c'est un centre linguistique où voilà, nous formons des apprenants, des personnes venant de partout dans le monde, des personnes ayant ce même désir de s'exprimer couramment en anglais. Donc, nous les venons depuis le premier jour jusqu'à la fin de la formation. Donc, généralement, la formation est de 6 mois.
6 mois, ouais.
Voilà, et nous travaillons avec eux. Chaque jour, nous établissons au départ un programme,
Oui.
c'est-à-dire des objectifs clairs et précis.
Oui.
Voilà, nous faisons absolument tout pour accomplir voilà, une période bien déterminée. Donc, American English Club, c'est un centre de formation virtuelle, c'est en ligne. Voilà, vous pouvez suivre des cours de partout dans le monde. Donc, voilà, il suffit de souscrire à votre formation et puis vous avez accès au cours à American English.
Pour ceux d'entre vous qui aiment l'anglais américain, hein, I gotta speak like American. Voilà, c'est l'adresse. Il faut contacter American English Club. Ils ont une page Facebook. À partir de la page Facebook, tu peux les contacter. Et tu auras certainement les modalités sur comment est-ce que tu peux devenir membre du club ou alors apprenant American English Club. Parallèlement, ici également, nous avons CI Club. CI Club, c'est donc ce centre CI Academy que j'ai créé pour partager avec un certain nombre de personnes des stratégies sur l'apprentissage des langues de manière générale. Parce que je dois dire que lorsque je découvre que j'avais la possibilité de m'exprimer en plusieurs langues, quand je finis avec l'anglais, je me rends compte, j'ai l'impression qu'il y a un truc qui marche au sujet des langues. Et c'est en ce moment que je décide de m'attaquer à d'autres langues, de m'attaquer à l'italien par exemple. Et il m'a fallu juste quelques mois pour saisir la quintessence de la langue. Après, je me dis, waouh, ça marche plutôt bien. Je décide donc de m'attaquer au chinois. Et là, ça marche plutôt bien. Donc, au fil de ces derniers mois, de ces dernières années, je crois avoir accumulé un certain nombre d'expériences en ce qui concerne les astuces, les techniques et les stratégies qui peuvent te permettre d'apprendre n'importe quelle langue. Et c'est la raison pour laquelle j'ai donc créé cette académie de manière à partager mon expérience et d'amener ceux-là qui voudraient atteindre un niveau d'éloquence, qui voudraient parler de nouvelles langues, à pouvoir le faire de manière stratégique. Parce que la stratégie est très importante. Je connais des gens qui passent des années à apprendre une langue. Et au finish, ils sont frustrés, ils disent ça ne marche pas. Ils disent, bon voilà, c'est pas mon truc. C'est Dieu qui donne. Je peux pas. Pourquoi? Parce qu'ils ont la mauvaise stratégie. Donc là, nous travaillons sur la stratégie et nous te donnons les étapes que tu dois pouvoir suivre pour atteindre ton objectif. Maintenant, revenons au vrai truc. Hein. Parlons un peu de, selon toi, qu'est-ce qu'il faut pour parler anglais? Toi, tu parles bien anglais, voilà. Ceux qui nous regardent ce soir, on veut le savoir. Comment est-ce que tu as commencé? Est-ce que tu es d'abord francophone?
Ah oui, bien sûr. Voilà, je suis francophone 100%. Donc, en ce qui concerne les stratégies, telles que je le disais il y a quelques minutes en anglais, il n'y a rien d'autre, je le dis à chaque fois, même pendant mes cours, il n'y a rien d'autre que la pratique constante.
Tout à fait.
Et quotidienne de la langue, de la langue en général. Donc, ce que nous essayons de faire avec des apprenants qui viennent à American English Club, c'est de les mettre dans un environnement où ils ont cette possibilité de pratiquer tous les jours.
Tout à fait.
D'accord? Donc, et également, le mot stratégie est important de définir ici, tel que tu l'as dit il y a de cela quelques minutes. Donc, ensemble, nous définissons une stratégie parce que après, la stratégie, lorsqu'on parle du mot stratégie, ça peut être très vaste et varié en fonction des personnes. Je doute bien qu'on puisse utiliser la même stratégie pour X ou Y.
Tout à fait.
Tu vois, donc en fonction des aptitudes
de
l'apprenant, on voit ensemble comment établir une stratégie qui marche effectivement. Parce qu'après, si on l'a fait, nous ne sommes pas les premières personnes à l'avoir fait.
Tout à fait.
Et je ne vais pas en même temps nous jeter des fleurs. Ce serait peut-être un peu prétentieux pour les personnes qui nous suivent de se dire, mais vraiment, est-ce que vous pensez que
ces mecs-là, ils se croient pour qui là?
Voilà, tu vois.
Bon, parce que vous parlez anglais, vous croyez que.
Vous parlez français, que vous croyez que donc. Voilà, nous sommes effectivement, tu l'as dit, tu es en recherche, c'est-à-dire que tu le fais en anglais et en français tout le temps.
Ouais.
Voilà, donc, c'est pareil pour moi, c'est-à-dire que le travail continue à chaque fois, mais probablement nous sommes arrivés à un niveau où beaucoup n'y sont pas encore.
Tout à fait.
Nous sommes donc en droit, ou je veux dire plutôt nous sommes dans une position où voilà,
nous avons la responsabilité
voilà, d'enseigner à ceux-là qui sont en train de prendre le même chemin qu'on a pris, voilà, en partageant avec eux des astuces qui ont marché pour nous.
Tout à fait.
Voilà, et en essayant maintenant, en fonction de leurs aptitudes, voir ce qui peut marcher pour eux.
Tout à fait.
Voilà, et les suivre. Donc, c'est ce suivi qui est extrêmement important.
Parce qu'il faut se dire que, voilà, moi je pense que l'élément fondamental, ou alors le plus important dans le processus d'apprentissage d'une langue, c'est l'environnement.
Oui.
Et l'environnement, il y en a deux. Il y a un environnement naturel. L'environnement naturel, c'est quoi? Je me retrouve en Angleterre. Tout le monde parle anglais. J'ai déjà un environnement naturel qui me permet de rapidement capter la langue. Maintenant, si je n'ai pas la possibilité d'aller en Angleterre, je suis en France, je suis au Sénégal, je suis au Cameroun. Là, je n'ai pas cet environnement naturel. Il faudrait donc un environnement virtuel ou artificiel. Et l'environnement artificiel, c'est toi qui le crées. C'est-à-dire que tu dois te mettre dans des conditions où tu es appelé ou alors contraint à pouvoir parler cette langue. Et c'est ce que nous faisons également à C&toi, parce que nous te créons un environnement dans lequel tu es obligé de parler. Voilà. Quand nous tenons nos réunions de club, on se dit, dès que tu traverses cette porte-là, garde ton français à l'extérieur, tu commences l'anglais. Pendant 3 heures de temps, tu parles uniquement anglais. Et là, les cerveaux commencent à...
Ah oui, buzzer un peu.
Voilà, tu vois, même lorsque nous travaillons en ligne, dès qu'on ouvre le chapitre, dès qu'on commence les conversations, tout le monde parle en anglais.
Oui.
Et là, ça te met dans un environnement où tu es obligé de parler. Au début, c'est certainement inconfortable. Tu commets des bêtises, tu dis des bêtises, tu fais des erreurs, mais c'est comme ça que tu commences. Et après, tu te rends compte, ah, la mayonnaise, ça prend. Ça prend. Je peux dire un mot, deux mots. Après, c'est une phrase. Après, c'est une conversation d'une minute. Et là, tu commences à gagner en confiance en soi, tu commences à gagner en connaissance. Et du coup, tu te rends compte, ah, l'affaire là n'est pas aussi compliquée que ça. Tu vois? Mais sauf que les gens ont souvent peur de commettre des erreurs et ils se disent, je ne peux pas. Ouais. Je n'ai pas de compétences, je n'ai pas de connaissances. L'anglais, ce n'est pas mon truc. Ma prononciation, c'est de la merde. Et lorsque tu te mets ça en tête, tu te mets en blocage. Parce que là, tu auras des difficultés à pouvoir assimiler. Mais dis-toi tout simplement, si le gars, s'il a fait, lui, il a une tête comme moi, il a deux pieds, il a deux mains. Si lui, il a fait, moi aussi, je peux le faire. Et d'ailleurs, il n'est pas le seul à le faire. Ils sont des centaines de milliers à le faire. Si eux, ils ont réussi à le faire, pourquoi pas moi? Et la question que tu dois te poser après, c'est comment est-ce qu'ils l'ont fait?
Comment est-ce qu'ils l'ont fait?
How did you do it? Et c'est ça la bonne question.
Voilà. Et après, pour répondre à cette question, je pense qu'il n'y a rien de mieux que se rapprocher de ces personnes qui ont déjà atteint cet objectif que vous êtes toujours en quête. Voilà, d'accomplir, dire quoi, d'accomplissement, tu vois.
Ouais.
Parce qu'après, ça devient un peu français, anglais.
Ouais, ça commence à se mélanger.
Ouais,
là.
Ça se mélange un peu.
Bientôt, on va mettre même le chinois dedans.
Bien sûr. Donc, c'est pas très évident. Donc, c'est de ça qu'il est question, venir vers ces personnes qui ont ce que vous recherchez et apprendre d'eux. Et maintenant, le problème avec les gens, à chaque fois, du moins, c'est, je ne sais pas comment caractériser cela, soit c'est un manque de volonté, soit c'est, en fait, il manque de volonté. Moi, je le dirais.
Moi, je pense que c'est beaucoup plus. Nous sommes dans une génération .com. C'est comme ça que j'appelle ça. Okay. Génération.com.
OK.
Tout le monde veut vite avoir et maintenant. Ouais. Tout le monde veut tout avoir et maintenant. Tout le monde veut parler anglais et aujourd'hui et demain. Tout le monde veut parler chinois et c'est maintenant. Les gens ne comprennent pas l'importance du processus. Ouais. Ils se disent, oh, ce mec, il parle bien anglais là. Ils ne savent pas que c'est des jours, des semaines, des mois, des nuits blanches, les moqueries et tout ça que tu as mis ensemble pour pouvoir t'en sortir. Et là, il faut donc être prêt à payer le prix. Et le prix, il y en a plusieurs catégories. Il y a le prix personnel. Maintenant, je vais faire un petit bémol sur la discipline. Tout à l'heure, tu disais c'est le manque de volonté. Mais parfois, c'est le manque de discipline. S'il y a des gens qui ne peuvent pas suffisamment se discipliner, tu dis par exemple, tu dois pratiquer tous les jours. Tu dois faire des exercices tous les jours. Tu dois trouver des occasions pour t'exprimer tous les jours. Mais là, il est un peu difficile pour certaines personnes de se mettre cette pression-là, de pouvoir faire ce qu'il faut faire tous les jours. Raison pour laquelle l'accompagnement marche pour certaines personnes. Exactement. Ils ont besoin de quelqu'un qui, chaque matin, l'appelle pour dire « Allez, maintenant on parle anglais. » Qui le soir l'appelle pour lui dire « Ce soir, on a 15 minutes de conversation en anglais. » Ils ont besoin de ce genre de personnes qu'on appelle un coach de langue ou qu'on appelle un guide de langue avec qui ils peuvent travailler quotidiennement. Et lorsque tu fais ça, je crois que soit tu le fais toi-même, soit tu te fais accompagner. Et c'est l'une des raisons pour lesquelles American English Club est là. Bah, si tu ne peux pas te discipliner toi-même, American English Club va te discipliner.
Et c'est ce qui se passe le plus souvent avec la plupart des apprenants qu'on a. Tu vois, on a un apprenant, on a plusieurs apprenants, mais on a un particulièrement qui vient du Mali.
Oui.
Et c'est quelqu'un de très engagé. À la base, c'est-à-dire qu'il a ce qu'il faut, il a ce qu'il faut pour maîtriser la langue. Mais après, il manque la discipline, tel qu'on dit. Et à chaque fois, c'est-à-dire, je me retrouve en train de venir le chercher, le bousculer. Parfois, c'est très inconfortable
pour lui.
Pour lui. Après, bon, il m'appelle, il me dit, coach, mais ne penses-tu pas que tu es allé un peu trop loin? Mais je lui dis, mais après, qu'est-ce que tu veux? Tu payes des cours pour ça. Et mon rôle, c'est, voilà, justement, de te pousser. Sinon, pourquoi est-ce que je suis coach?
Pourquoi est-ce que je dois t'aider?
Voilà,
En
pourquoi
quoi
est-ce
est-ce
que
que
je
je
dois t'aider?
t'aide?
Pourquoi est-ce que tu dépenses ton argent, tes 25, tes 50, tes 100 000 francs tous les mois pour faire des cours?
Et justement, c'est ça. Donc, je pense que c'est une question de choix. Apprendre une nouvelle langue, c'est une question de choix. Tu choisis et tu payes le prix.
Ouais.
Maintenant, tu peux payer la moitié du prix toi-même. Non, tu peux payer 100% du prix toi-même. Tu peux payer la moitié du prix et aller rencontrer quelqu'un qui paie la moitié du prix pour toi. Je pense que lorsqu'on était en offre, tu faisais mention du fait que les gens te contactent et te demandent est-ce qu'il faut payer pour apprendre l'anglais.
Ouais,
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 il faut quand même qu'on dise
voilà
un
une
truc.
question qui est très répétitive.
Ouais, est-ce qu'il faut payer?
Est-ce qu'il faut payer des cours d'anglais?
Ouais.
Est-ce qu'il
Qu'est-ce que
faut,
tu penses?
est-ce qu'il faut payer des cours d'anglais? Bon, bien, pour répondre à cette question, je ne sais pas déjà des compétences que ces personnes qui posent généralement cette question ont comme compétences. Peut-être qu'elles sont fortes en médecine, peut-être qu'elles sont fortes, je ne sais en quoi, je ne sais pas la profession que voilà, ces personnes occupent. Et je ne sais pas si elles recevaient ces personnes, des personnes également venant vers elles, solliciter leurs services
Ah, je te vois venir.
et leur demander est-ce que c'est payant
Les services à l'hôpital.
de services à l'hôpital. Comme, est-ce que tu peux me mettre? J'ai pas d'argent.
Ouais, c'est compris.
Compris.
Voilà.
Après, je pense que le travail qu'on fait doit être mesuré à sa juste valeur.
Tout à fait.
Parce qu'après, c'est beaucoup de temps, c'est je ne sais combien d'heures de vidéos, regarder je ne sais combien en termes d'argent. Parce que moi, je me souviens, lorsque j'étais à la quête, justement, tu vois, j'ai eu à payer des cours dans des centres linguistiques qui coûtaient 50, 100 000 francs le mois. Tu vois, je ne peux pas compter combien j'ai dépensé en formation.
Tout à fait.
Voilà, avant maintenant, à partir de chacune de ces formations, ajuster une stratégie qui s'y est le mieux avec moi. Voilà, donc, je ne comprends pas comment quelqu'un qui souhaite réellement acquérir une compétence n'est pas prêt à payer.
Ce que moi je dis généralement, c'est que voilà, vous pouvez décider de ne pas payer. Mais si vous décidez de ne pas payer quelqu'un pour vous aider à réaliser ce que vous voulez réaliser, vous allez donc payer vous-même. Et je m'explique. Si tu vas apprendre à va sur YouTube, n'importe quel méthode, comment fabriquer du paracétamol, disons n'importe quoi. Mais la vérité, c'est que ces vidéos sont très souvent superficielles.
Ah oui.
Il y a des stratégies qui ne vont jamais te donner. Il y a une connaissance qu'ils ne vont jamais te donner.
C'est-à-dire qu'il y a la limite dans le gratuit.
Il y a la limite dans le gratuit, tout à fait. Donc, tout est gratuit. Il y a plein de trucs gratuits en ligne, sur Facebook, sur YouTube, partout là. Tu peux trouver n'importe quoi. Mais tu dois savoir que c'est limité. Parce que même ceux-là qui partagent leurs connaissances, ils ont appris ça quelque part. Ils n'ont pas appris ça gratuitement. Donc, si tu n'es pas prêt à payer, sois prêt à comprendre ou apprendre à moitié. Ça, c'est une première chose. Maintenant, tu peux avoir des compétences en recherche. Tu veux peut-être pousser la recherche et tu sais comment chercher. Là, tu vas peut-être trouver des informations un peu plus avancées. Ça va te prendre énormément de temps, beaucoup de temps. Alors que la formation, c'est quoi? Tu as quelqu'un face à toi qui a fait le même parcours, qui a l'expérience, qui est passé par là et qui peut exactement te dire à tel niveau, voilà ce qu'il faut faire, voilà ce qu'il faut faire, voilà ce qu'il faut éviter, voilà ce qu'il ne faut pas faire. Et il te tient par la main, il faut marcher ensemble. En très peu de temps, tu peux acquérir toute son expérience, toute sa connaissance et atteindre ses résultats.
Effectivement, effectivement. Et je pense que c'est de ça qu'il est question. Euh, Surtout dans la mentalité africaine, je vais le dire comme ça. Je vais le dire comme ça parce qu'il est clair qu'on se dit, il est bien qu'on se dise des vérités, tu vois. Un Américain normal, je vais aller chez les Américains parce qu'après,
c'est ce que tu maîtrises depuis
récemment. Donc, un Américain normal, en moyenne, dépense, je crois, 1 000 € tous les mois pour une formation, pour acquérir une compétence.
Ouais.
Donc, je pense que si nous, en Afrique, particulièrement dans certains pays africains dont je ne sais pas faire mention,
Si on pouvait comprendre l'importance de payer des formations, de se faire former, peu importe le domaine, là on ne parle même pas que d'anglais. Bien sûr, on ne parle pas que d'anglais, il y a ceux qui aimeraient se former, je ne sais pas trop dans quoi, audiovisuel, quoi que ce soit. Il faut payer des formations.
Tout à l'heure, je parlais de ce livre.
Voilà.
Il m'a fallu un mois en moyenne pour créer ce livre.
Ok.
Incroyable, n'est-ce pas?
Bien sûr, c'est
Incroyable.
beaucoup de temps, c'est beaucoup
Mais là, j'ai dû payer une formation.
Ok.
J'ai payé une masterclass et je me suis assis avec un mec qui avait publié des livres. Il m'a dit, voilà le processus. Il m'a expliqué, quand tu veux écrire un livre, voilà comment tu commences. Voilà ce qu'il faut faire. Voilà les erreurs à éviter. Et c'était une masterclass qui durait environ 4 heures.
Wow.
Donc, j'ai dû payer quelqu'un pour m'expliquer le processus. Beaucoup d'argent, justement, pour pouvoir acquérir la connaissance ou la compétence qu'il me fallait pour écrire un livre. Ouais. Donc, quand quelqu'un va voir ça, il va se dire, bon, moi aussi, je peux écrire un livre. Ouais. Mais si tu n'as pas la compétence, la connaissance qu'il faut,
mais surtout le processus,
va payer une formation et quelqu'un qui a de l'expérience, qui a de la compétence, va t'expliquer en quelques heures ce que tu devais faire peut-être tout un mois ou 2 mois pour apprendre. Et là, c'est très important. C'est ça le pouvoir de la formation. La formation n'est pas pour dire que voilà, la connaissance est mystifiée. C'est une façon de dire, soit tu vas chercher l'information toi-même, et ça te prendra énormément de temps, soit tu payes quelqu'un qui a l'information, et en quelques minutes, en quelques heures, il te la donne, tu passes à l'action et tu as le résultat. Donc, c'est de ça qu'il s'agit.
C'est ça, ouais, c'est de ça en fait. C'est-à-dire que si les personnes pouvaient comprendre ça rapidement, je pense déjà ce livre qui a pris beaucoup d'argent, beaucoup de temps.
Beaucoup de temps.
Et voilà, lorsqu'on va dire à quelqu'un, bon, voilà, il faut avoir ce livre, il coûte 10 000 francs.
Mais dis, mais c'est cher. Il faut que ce soit gratuit.
Sûr.
Mais le
gratuit, déjà, il ne voit pas l'intérêt pour lui. Ça veut dire simplement qu'il ne veut pas. Moi, je l'ai fait une fois. Il y a un type qui est venu pour prendre une formation. Et il arrive, il me dit, vraiment, votre formation est chère. J'aurais bien pu lui dire, merci, bye. Mais j'ai dit, bon, avec celui-ci au moins, parce que moi, je le fais régulièrement, tu vois.
Ouais.
Je me suis dit, avec celui-ci au moins, je vais essayer de pousser loin. Je lui dis, OK, est-ce que tu vas apprendre l'anglais? Est-ce que vous êtes prêt à apprendre l'anglais? Ouais. Et il me répond, oui, je suis prêt. Je dis, OK. Vous estimez que payer la somme que je vous demande est excessive? Il me dit, non, pas excessif, mais bon, c'est beaucoup par rapport à mes moyens. Je dis, bonne réponse. Combien avez-vous dépensé ou budgétisé pour vous offrir une formation de qualité en anglais? Et là, il balbutie. Il est à gauche, il est à droite.
Beating around the bush.
Exactly. Not even actually getting straight to the point.
Yeah.
Et il est là et il me dit, bon, OK, voilà ce qu'on va faire. Je n'ai même pas encore d'argent, en fait. Et je compte quand même avoir un argent bientôt.
D'ici peu.
D'ici peu, c'est généralement
le langage.
Tu vois. Et puis, il me dit, bon, ce qu'on va faire quand même, néanmoins, c'est on va commencer. Et puis, je vais te payer.
Quand j'aurai un peu de sous.
Quand j'aurai un peu de sous. Il dit, écoutez, vous ne voulez pas apprendre à parler anglais. Et la conversation est terminée là. Tu vois à quel point.
Et c'est justement ça, parce que les gens ne veulent pas payer le prix à juste titre. Moi, je pense que, comme je le disais d'ailleurs tantôt, tout le monde peut finir par apprendre l'anglais. Ouais. Mais la question de temps est aussi importante. Parce qu'il y a des gens qui vont passer 15 ans à apprendre l'anglais. Après 15 ans, ils sont plus ou moins bilingues, capables de s'exprimer en anglais.
Lire, écrire, comprendre.
Maintenant, la question que je vais te poser, est-ce que tu es prêt à passer 15 années à apprendre l'anglais? Ou alors,
1 an, voire 6 mois.
Voire 6 mois. Tu payes et quelqu'un te fait passer par le processus et te donne l'information. Donc, en fin de compte, c'est la question qu'il faut se poser. Oui. Parce que tout a un prix. Le gratuit même est encore cher.
Beaucoup plus cher.
Parce que, comme on dit souvent, je me souviens quand on était très petit, on avait une expression qu'on utilisait pour rigoler, que le job, ça cale au cou. De façon de dire, ce qui est gratuit, ça finit
à des
toujours par aller
limites,
contre eux.
il y a toujours, rien n'est gratuit en fait.
Donc, je pense qu'on a essayé de balayer un certain nombre de choses. Et je ne sais pas si les gens ont des questions. Voilà, ceux qui nous regardent ce soir, je ne sais pas s'il y a des questions. Mais en tout cas, on va résumer rapidement. On ne va pas être très long ce soir. On va juste résumer. Et puis, on va partir. Donc, de manière ramassée, si véritablement tu penses que l'anglais est important, parce que je ne pense pas qu'il est encore nécessaire d'expliquer l'importance.
Non, c'est pas
Pour
important.
quelqu'un
Au
qui est
21e siècle.
Pour quelqu'un qui est légèrement ouvert, on n'a pas
Qui
besoin.
peut-être en Afrique en plus.
Voilà.
Tu dois comprendre.
Même pas seulement en Afrique.
Et
Hein.
même pas en Afrique, c'est
parce
bon.
que là, au niveau des CI Club, je reçois des gens, même des États-Unis, voilà, qui m'appellent et me disent, mais vraiment, je veux parler anglais. Je suis aux États-Unis depuis quelques années déjà, et j'ai du mal, c'est difficile, je ne comprends pas. Quand ces gens-là parlent, ils parlent tellement vite, leur accent et tout et tout. Comment je m'y prends? C'est en Afrique, c'est en Europe, c'est en Chine, parce que j'ai également des apprenants de ce côté-là. C'est en France également, partout dans le monde. L'anglais, c'est une langue de référence. Donc, si tu as déjà compris ça, c'est à toi de décider si tu te lances ou pas. Si tu décides de te lancer, c'est à toi de décider quel est le temps qu'il te faudra. Parce que nous, au niveau de ces clubs, on a une marge de 6 mois. Parce que nous pensons que si tu es vraiment engagé et tu fais ce qu'il faut, en 6 mois, tu as des résultats.
Bien sûr, c'est
clair. Tu as des résultats.
C'est clair.
Maintenant, si tu veux t'amuser là et faire un truc et revenir une semaine après, faire un autre truc, ça te prendra certainement beaucoup plus de temps. Peut-être 2 ans. Beaucoup d'argent. Donc, the choice is yours, as we usually say, the choice is yours. You've got to decide today what you want. If you want to speak English, pay the price. And as we explained to you tonight, I mean, this afternoon, there is a process, and we're here to give you the process. We're here to help you in your learning journey. We're here to actually tell you that this is what we did to get the result we have, and this is what you can do to also have the result you expect.
Exactly.
So we're just gonna wrap up this, and we expected this to be 1 hour, already 1 hour gone. So let's not speak too much. Exactly. We're probably gonna have another one where we get deeper, because today we are actually
just like,
generalizing a lot of things.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe organize another live stream where we explain to these guys exactly step by step. And I promise I'm gonna share with you one of the experiences, very negative experience I had when I started learning English.
Okay.
And this is the experience that made me to like, okay, I pick up the challenge.
Exactly.
I will explain that to you the next live stream. But in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is decide what you want and go for it.
Exactly.
I usually say, if you want it,
go get it.
Go get it.
Yeah, that's how it works actually.
Go get it. So
okay, appreciate you, man.
Okay, man. It's a great time. So happy to have had this time to discuss with you, and looking forward to having some time later.
Of course.
To discuss this, discuss English, and why not other stuff.
Exactly. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you got some questions, you can drop in the comment section. We're gonna have time to discuss with you. And if you want to learn English, I have 2 things to tell you. First, you can visit American English Club page, Facebook page. You can get in touch with American English Club, and they're definitely going to give you some advice. Okay, I need to say this in French. Si tu vas apprendre à parler anglais, voilà, j'ai 2 trucs à te dire. Hein. Premier truc, tu peux aller visiter la page Facebook de American English Club. Si c'est l'anglais américain qui t'intéresse, tu entres en contact avec eux, ils vont certainement te donner la marche à suivre, ce qu'il faut faire. Ou alors, tu peux me contacter sur ma page Facebook, Dr. Office Petit, ou alors sur la page de CI Club, page Facebook. Et certainement, nous allons te donner un certain nombre d'astuces, nous allons partager avec toi un certain nombre d'astuces. Tu peux décider de ne pas travailler avec nous, de ne pas suivre nos formations, mais on va certainement te donner un certain nombre d'astuces qui peuvent t'aider dans ce voyage-là. Donc, on va s'arrêter là et puis on se dit à très bientôt.
OK. Peace out.
Peace out.